Is your exam tomorrow? This is your last minute preparation for your OET transfer letter. Hi, my name is Dr. Bhavna Sharma. I'm a member of the Teach Your team, and this lecture is a quick revision of the OET transfer letter for doctors which might appear on your exam tomorrow. So let's revise. This is what a transfer letter looks like. If you get it on your exam tomorrow, you quickly jump onto the task and identify that this is a transfer letter to a neurosurgeon. What do you do next? Let's revise. Always have a game plan before starting anything. So if you get a transfer letter tomorrow, you've got about 5 minutes to prepare. You can't touch your pen or your paper. So what you do is you plan out. Identify what your task is. Identify who you're writing to, who's your audience, who are you going to tailor your information to. Also know that who you are. Are you a GP? Are you a person working in a ward? Or are you just someone who's seeing this patient as a locum? Identify yourself. Once you've done that and your 5 minutes are over, then you underline the important points. You underline your content. What is the information that the audience definitely needs to know about your patient to continue caring for them? In this case, because it's a neurosurgeon, we'll tailor our content to a neurosurgeon. Remember, lots of surgical specialties may appear on your exam tomorrow. Know what information matters to each surgical specialty. Once you've done all of that, write your letter in about 30 to 35 minutes. Make sure that you leave time at the end, about 5 to 10 minutes, just to revise your letter for spelling mistakes, simple punctuation errors, or major grammatical mistakes. Do make sure that you have time left and keep an eye on the clock. Now let's try and break down our planning stage. It's about 5 minutes and we have to use it extremely wisely. Read your task, make sure it's a transfer letter. Identify your purpose. Is this an urgent referral? Identify your clarity. What information definitely, if you include on the letter, your examiner is going to get really angry at you. Plan your paragraphs. How are you going to divide this letter? How many visits are included on this letter? What visits need to be included? And what information can be divided into specific paragraphs? Let's revise. This is how I would write my letter, or I would plan my letter. I've highlighted the points that I would like to include. Do that on your exam tomorrow. Underline the information that you definitely want to include and make sure that you include everything which is needed and you exclude everything which will waste your audience's time. Underline your purpose and highlight it as purpose like I've done. So I've highlighted my audience and I've highlighted their address and I've highlighted that this is an urgent letter. You can also underline your role. Now that we've done that, we'll plan our paragraphs. Remember, this we'll do in our first 8 minutes tomorrow. We will plan our purpose as well as maybe our provisional diagnosis. Remember, transfer letters only include provisional diagnosis because there is a reason why you're transferring this patient, because you don't know everything about your patient. So this is definitely a provisional diagnosis. Include your main history and examination which led you to that provisional diagnosis, and please write down why was an urgent transfer made, and conclude your letter properly. So plan your paragraphs, try and make 4 paragraphs. This is how I would write my letter, and let's just see what common mistakes can be made and try and avoid them tomorrow. This is what I would write my sentence as. Thank you for seeing Mr. George Nada Fortune, a 48-year-old gentleman. Revise the way that I've written 46-year-old. Make sure that you use the 2 hyphen strategy. He is being transferred to your esteemed care for urgent neurosurgical assessment and probable treatment. Revise that line, use it tomorrow, cut, copy, paste and use this as your cheat sheet. I am writing this letter to inform you regarding Mr. Fortune's imminent transfer to your esteemed care. Mr. Fortune is being transferred today to your neurosurgical department due to his ongoing needs. Copy this sentence, use this on your exam tomorrow. Provisional diagnosis cheat sheet. Remember, this is a provisional diagnosis. This is not your final diagnosis, and that's why you would write it as has signs and symptoms suggestive of probable, whatever your diagnosis is, and which would greatly benefit from your urgent assessment and further care. Plan your middle paragraphs. Remember guys, because you've examined this patient in the past, all of the tenses that I'm using here are in the past tense. Make sure that you revise that at the end. When you're sending this patient for an urgent transfer, you do need to mention that visit. So remember, when you're writing about multiple visits, it's important to include your first presentation and your last visit. Conclusion. Let's revise the sentence that we would use on our conclusion. Your continued care with regards to this pleasant gentleman would be highly appreciated. Please do not hesitate to contact me in case of any queries. Revise that sentence, use it tomorrow. So this was your quick revision on your OET transfer letter. I hope you do very well tomorrow. Make sure you use the game plan and make sure you use our strategies. Good luck.